What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to make some bacon wrapped Mexican street corn jalapenos. Let's get started. All right, friends, today we're going to make a little twist on bacon wrapped jalapenos. We are doing a Mexican street corn version. So I've got all of my ingredients setting out in front of me here. Some of them have already been pre-sliced, pre-diced, pre-cooked, so we're ready to go make it nice and quick for us this afternoon. So first thing, I've got my jalapenos. I open them up, slice them in half, core them out. You notice I like to leave the stem on there only for presentation purposes only. Obviously not going to eat that stem. Other ingredients I got here, I got some red onion, some cilantro, my cream cheese we're going to use. I took some fresh corn on the cob, and then what I did was I roasted it on my Blackstone over here. So a little bit of roasted corn as well, and a hatch chili that I also roasted. We'll pull that skin off here. We're going to make a lot of ingredients here that we use for the filling for these jalapenos. So we're going to start with that 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Now this cream cheese has been sitting out for just a little bit here, so it's nice and softened. So it'll be easier, it's not always easy, but easier to mix all these ingredients with that cream cheese. Go ahead and put that in the bottom of this bowl here. Perfect. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is, doesn't matter what order we go in here, but next time I've got that corn already ready to go here. So I'm gonna go ahead and place that corn in that bowl as well. I've got some red onion here. I'm probably not going to use it all. So what will end up probably looks like about I'm going to guess a quarter of a cup of finely diced up red onion. We'll throw that in there as well. I'm going to pull some of the skin off of this roasted hatch chili. It's hatch chili season. If you've been watching any of those recent episodes, you know here this time of year for those hatch chilies, late July into early August, maybe in towards September, you'll start to get those hatch chilies coming into your local market, especially in the Southwest as they come out of New Mexico. So we're going to take some of this hatch chili here in just a moment, and we're going to slice it up as well. Don't need a lot of that because obviously it's going inside of another pepper as well. So I'm going to dice it up nice and fine for us. I think that'll give it another little flavor. Those hatch chilies are always milder in taste. A little more, they actually have a little more of a natural smoky taste to them as well, I believe. So we'll throw those in there to our mixture. All right. Skin out of there. We don't need that. I'm going to grab a little bit of fresh cilantro. I'm going to pull it right off in, and we'll just chop some of that up. I don't know about you guys, but I love the smell of fresh cilantro. Sometimes occasionally I meet people who don't like cilantro. I'm not sure if they're allowed to be my friends anymore, but they still are. But I kind of give them the little side eye, like, really? You don't like cilantro? How's that even possible in life? All right, we'll throw a little bit of that cilantro in there as well. So I'll grab myself a paper towel, wipe my hands off here. We got a couple more ingredients. So now what we're going to do is add a little bit of some Mexican style shredded cheese in there. Just a little bit. I've had to guess that was probably about a quarter cup as well. And then I've got some cajita queso cheese. So this is a nice crumbly cheese. We're going to use a little bit of this inside the mix, and then we're going to come back and use some more of it later as well. So I'm going to take just a small piece of that. It crumbles so nice and easily in there. I have a funny feeling this is the point of the recipe where the glove police will start making comments in this episode. But you know what? I'm the one eating them, so it doesn't really matter, right? All right, so there we go. Throw that in there as well. All right. And then the next thing we're going to do is a little bit of seasoning. So I've got a little bit of Mexican seasoning we're going to add in here for this one. We'll hit some other seasoning on top of that bacon once we get them wrapped up. There we go, my friends. So that is everything we're going to put into that filling. What I'll do now is I'll take myself a spoon, and I'm just going to kind of begin to blend all this together. And then we'll come back here in a moment and we'll start to fill those jalapenos. All right, friends, all of that mix that we're using inside those jalapenos is ready to go. So it's always hard to judge if you got enough jalapenos cut open. I actually took 7 jalapenos, sliced in half. That'll give us 14 to here. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough or just enough to fill these, but we will find out along the way. I usually when I make a mix with 8 ounces of cream cheese and any other fillings, it's usually going to get me about 6 to 8 jalapenos. So once I slice them in half, I can double that up, of course. But that's usually what I will get. If you're thinking about that at home, just keep that in mind if you want to double, triple the recipe. If you have friends coming over as well. So we'll get a couple of these filled here, and then I'll kind of show you what we'll do next. And I'll come back and finish filling the rest of them. So as we got a couple of them filled, as everything's ready to go, I'm going to take a little bit more of that Mexican seasoning here. Just sprinkle that across the top of that cream cheese that's sitting inside there. And all you have to do then is take yourself, now when I do any bacon wrapped jalapenos on the smoker, I always use a thin slice of bacon. That thick sliced bacon always typically takes longer to cook. And then what happens is the rest of the jalapenos is ready to go. You'll look at the top of that bacon in your smoker. You think, oh, it's crispy on the top. It looks really good. It's ready to go as well. When honestly, then when you bite into it, it's still pulling that bacon because the bottom half of that bacon didn't really cook all the way through. So anytime you're doing these bacon wrapped jalapenos, I highly suggest using more of a thin cut bacon. Once you get on that smoke, I'm gonna use my Weber Smoky Mountain today. So getting it up to about 300 degrees with these jalapenos, with that thin cut bacon, it typically takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. Just have to kind of keep an eye on it as well. So we've got all of that ready to go there. So before I come back and finish making these off camera, just so you can see what we'll do next, I'm gonna take a little bit of meat church, the Holy Voodoo, and I'll put just a little bit on the top of that bacon as well. So now they are ready to go on the smoker. I'm gonna finish these off and we'll get them on the Weber Smoky Mountain. All right, friends, I got all 14 of those jalapenos filled, wrapped in that bacon, topped off a little bit of that Holy Voodoo as well. I'm glad I picked 7 jalapenos and sliced them in half, because who would have thought there were 14 slices of bacon in that thin cut pack? Perfectly done, no extras, nothing to worry about. You know what? It's time to get this on the smoker. All right, friends, those jalapenos are on the Weber Smoky Mountain. And then I'll show you a little something. Off to the side here is a little bit of that leftover cream cheese mix. And I diced up one more jalapeno, threw a little more cheese on top. We're going to use that as a dip later as well. Let's not waste anything. All right, my friends, jalapenos are ready to rock and roll. So let's get them plated. And we'll save one off to the side for a little taste test as well. So I'm going to throw those jalapenos on my plate here. And smell that bacon definitely, because since we wrapped it with those thin cut pieces of bacon, they're nice and crispy on the outside. That Mexican corn cream cheese filling was just starting to ooze out, just a little bit, starting to bubble underneath. When you get that bacon crispy and you see that cream cheese starting to bubble just a little bit, but not just falling out of those jalapenos when you're making them on your smoker, you know you're doing all right, my friends. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna continue to get these plated, and then we'll save ourselves a couple here, or at least one, for that little taste test here in a moment as well. All right. All right, we got those plated. We're gonna keep this one off to the side. We're gonna take a little bite out of that one in a minute. So before we get everything finished off here, I'm gonna take a little more of that cajito cheese. Now, since I'm sitting outside, it's actually a great day here in St. Louis, believe it, for early August. Nice and cooler temperatures, but I still brought myself a little block that had frozen in the freezer, set that cheese on it right here just to kind of keep it cool for us as we're going through this well. So we're going to crumble a little bit of that cajito cheese across the top of that as well. Not only is this going to taste good, but if you're serving this to others, it's all about that wow factor when you present it to others as well. So got that ready to roll. We're going to add just a little bit more of that Mexican seasoning as well. Not only just on the top of those jalapenos, but on the outer edge of that plate as well. That always looks really well. And then we're going to grab ourselves one more jalapeno, or one more lime. I'm going to slice open that lime for us. We are going to squeeze a little bit of fresh lime on here as well. Oh yeah, my friends, there we go. That looks really good. Put some lime on that one. We're going to taste test for ourselves as well. And there, my friends, are our Mexican street corn bacon wrapped jalapenos. I think these would be really good. Let's give one a taste test here. All right, get my beverage out of the way. See that, just that corn just kind of coming out, popping out, and still nice and brown. That cream cheese, bacon's nice and crispy as well. Once again, as I told you guys earlier, slice those jalapenos in half, leaving that stem on there. Great presentation. Mm. So I'm so used to making stuffed jalapenos with with a very spicy inside core inside that cream cheese, like a chorizo or something like a buffalo chicken, something that's even more heat than the jalapeno itself. This is more on the lighter side, especially if you core out those jalapenos and get those seeds out. This is absolutely delicious, my friends. Like, this is one where you have those friends who they don't like hot and spicy, but they'll do like the mild, a little bit lower. If you do it right, these are money, my friends. Absolutely delicious, especially with that cream cheese, that corn, just that refreshing taste of that fresh corn. Because I use that corn on the cob. I didn't use corn out of the can for this. Um, and that thin cut bacon, so it would time just right as those ingredients melted inside that cream cheese on the smoker as well. This, my friends, is going to be one of your new favorite ways to make bacon wrap jalapenos. Hope you enjoy this recipe. If you do, make sure you share it with your friends. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like what we're doing. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys again on Bones and Brews.